Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ MB.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
Hump Day.
Yes, it's Hump Day. It's Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. You know
I
what,
wore red today
I see.
for Valentine's.
But you could be a blood.
And I have on my red headphones, Beats by Dre.
I've been very hard on single women the past couple of years.
Why?
Past few years on Valentine's Day. But I realize it's not their fault. I don't know whose fault it is, but it's not their fault. I'm going to focus my energy on today's Valentine's Day on women who are still falling for the lie. I'm busy today.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I sat in a restaurant last night with my homegirl who shall remain nameless, and she was like, yeah, you know, my boyfriend that I've been dating, he told me he's going to be busy tomorrow. Oh, you talking about laugh. Oh my God, I cried so hard.
But shout out to everybody today. We love you.
She don't know she decides.
I had my lip service live last night, and there were a lot of women there that were single. Lip service live is like a plethora of women. So we had a great time last night. Shout out to everyone who came through. Amala La Negra was up first.
Dropping the bombs from Amala La Negra.
She was there. Also, Steph LaCour was in town, so she came through as well. Seventh Streeter just happened to hit me and was like, I'm in New York, so she came by and showed love to everybody also. And then we had Little Mo and her husband, Carl Dargan, came through and had some fun. Apparently, he doesn't know a lot about her. Well, no, he does. They play like a newlywed type of game. And then last but not least, shout out to Girls Club. They came through and performed. So we had a good time. My ladies last night, so shout out to everybody out there. Listen, today is just February 14th. It's not a big deal.
Don't stop it.
Some people care about Valentine's Day. Some people don't.
If it's a big deal to people, let it be a big deal. It's a big deal to some people.
Yes.
Okay? Some people don't care about it because they don't have no choice. Now, all right? They don't have no other options but to look towards the future. All right? Now, I will say this. I had my Black Panther premiere last night, too, man. So I feel so blessed, black, and highly favored because I saw Black Panther on Monday. And I saw Black Panther on Tuesday. And you know, yesterday I didn't want to say much about Black Panther, and I'm still not going to say much about Black Panther. All I'm going to tell you is, you need to go see it.
Yeah,
I'm just going to leave it at that and say you need to go see it.
I was going to see it out in LA, but I really want to bring the kids, so I'll wait till I get back home on the weekend to go see it. Valentine's, like you said, is very special to me and my wife. We don't go out because usually when you go out, the food is disgusting.
Really?
They make the food too fast because they're trying to get so many people in the restaurant, so it's never really good. The service is never really good, so we really don't go out for a dinner per se, but we always do something. And shout to everybody that watched this on The Real yesterday. My wife and I were on The Real, had an amazing time. Shout out to the ladies of The Real.
Yeah, a lot of people that were at the podcast yesterday said they saw it and that you guys did a great job. We have it on the DVR, so I got to check it out.
Yeah, so we had a great time on The Real. And then, of course, my live show is Monday. And we do a same thing. Live podcast is sold out. So we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's get the show cracking. Now, who do we have joining us this morning?
What do you mean, who do we have joining us this morning? Okay? We got my South Carolina brethren, King T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman will be here this morning. He'll be back on the Breakfast Club. Okay? He hasn't been to the Breakfast Club since 2014. I think he came when, I think he was promoting 42 at the time.
Right.
Yeah, and at the time I was pressing him about playing Black Panther. Don't even know how I even had that in my mind. And he was ducking the question. But he claims he didn't know. We'll talk about it when he comes.
All right, and we got front page news. What we talking about,
Well, we have some Valentine's Day stories for you. We'll tell you about a school who is catching flack because there's a school dance on Valentine's Day every year, and they tell the girls they can't say no if a boy asks them to dance.
Wow. All right, we'll get into that when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
What's happening?
Happy Valentine's to everybody out there.
Happy Valentine's Day. And I also want to say too, man, if you've seen Black Panther and you don't greet me with the appropriate handshake, I don't trust you. Okay? So just want to throw that out there.
All right, well, let's get into some front page news. Now, what is this school doing? This sounded so crazy when you just teased this shit.
All right, so there is a school, Kingsville Elementary School in Ogden, Utah. They have a 6th grade dance today on Valentine's Day, every single year. Now, the dance is intended to promote inclusion and kindness. So one thing that they do, students have been told by their teachers, say yes when a classmate asks them to dance.
That's trash.
But now some parents are angry because they said that they don't want to teach their daughters or their sons that if somebody asks you something, you can't say no. So psychologically, according to one parent, my daughter keeps coming to me and saying, I can't say no to a boy. That's the message that kids are getting. So the way the dance works, students have to fill out a dance card with names of classmates they like to dance with. Half the dancer selections are the girl's choice, the other half are the boy's choice. Students can't dance with the same person more than once. And traditionally, they're told to say yes no matter what. But now, the school is saying that you can say no. This is the first time this year.
One of the main reasons that's really, really, really whack is because being let down by a woman builds character, okay? And by the way, that's not the way life works. People aren't going to tell you yes all the goddamn time, okay? You're going to hear a lot more no's than you do yes.
I do feel bad if there's like one little boy that everybody says no to.
So, but you can't force a girl to go to dance with you or go on a date with you. That's whack.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's not realistic.
What does it teach?
That's not how life works.
Not at all.
I always tell people all you need is one yes, because you're going to hear way more no's than you do yeses.
You know how many times my wife told me no before she finally said yes? Like at least 10 times. No.
You wore her down?
I exhausted her. Okay. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
They say persistence overcomes resistance.
Time's up, brother.
No, resistant. I was persistent.
I thought you said she was resisting. I'm sorry.
No, I said I was persistent.
All right, now here's a really great story. A single dad, Trenton Lewis, would walk to work. He would walk to UPS 11 miles every single day. This is in Little Rock, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And his co-workers found out, you know, there's always one person at work that knows everybody's business. Now that one person at his job actually ended up telling the other people. Patricia Mama Pat Bryant told the other co-workers. A lot of them didn't even know Trenton Lewis, and they all put their money together and bought him a car. They told him that they were going to be having a meeting. He came to the meeting, and they gave him not a brand new car, but keys to a brand new car for him.
Oh, that's
They raised $2,000. So the seller of the car understood what was happening when Mama Pat Bryant put together this whole fundraiser to get him a car, because he didn't tell anybody. She just knew that he would walk to work, and he has a 14-month-old daughter. He's a single dad, so he would walk 11 miles to work and 11 miles home every single day for the past 7 months.
Damn. I had respect to him because I'd have bought him a bike. I'm gonna be honest with you. A nice little Huffy, a nice little 10-speed, you know what I'm saying? Because he probably likes to exercise, to be honest.
My goodness.
All right, well, I just thought that was a beautiful story.
Top one includes bombs for UPS. What does Brown do for you? Okay? I used to want to work at UPS. And I looked at the benefits and stuff like that, and they had like really good benefits. This one I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life.
They have very flexible hours too, because you can work like the overnight shift. You can either load the truck, you can be a driver. And
one of my uncles used to be a UPS worker, and he had like a really nice house. And I was like, wow, I wanted to work for UPS. And then Biggie killed that dream when he said, "Don't be mad, UPS is."
All right, Charlamagne, that's front page news.
Letting y'all know my life.
All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to hit us up right now. Or maybe you feel blessed. You want to call us up, 800-585-1051. Shout out your Valentines this morning when you call, all right?
Don't do that.
No, shout out.
Because somebody else Valentine too.
All right, well, at least you figure it out today.
And for everybody out there that's single, don't you worry about it. Because listen, it doesn't define you to be in a relationship. If you haven't found the right person, don't settle.
Play it one time. We'll wait.
Nah.
Oh, man.
If you think you lonely now, wait until the night, girl. God damn it.
All right, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hello, who's this?
Hi, good morning. It's Deborah from the Bronx.
Hey, Deborah, how you doing?
Good morning, Deborah. How are you?
I'm great. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys. I love y'all. And Charlamagne, thank you for being a gracious host yesterday. Thank you for signing my books, my co-worker's book.
Oh yeah, you came to the premiere?
Remember to save the date. Yes, for the premiere day.
What did you think of Black Panther?
I loved it.
Yeah, man.
I have to go back. Definitely will go back. But, you know, I love spending it with y'all yesterday. I had a great time.
Thank you. And please remember, anybody that you know that saw Black Panther already, if they don't greet you with the appropriate handshake today, you can't trust them.
Thank you, Mama.
All right, have a good one.
All right.
Hello, who's this?
Club, it's Jay.
Hey, Jay, get it off your chest.
All right, I'm very mad. Very, very, very mad this morning. Wow. The first week of February, I sent my son to school, and I told him, I said, you're coming home with lessons on Groundhog Day and so on and so forth. Go to school tomorrow, ask your teacher when you're going to learn about Black History Month. My son's 5, he's in kindergarten. So he comes home, and he tells me verbatim, you know when your kid's are lying. So he tells me, oh yeah, Mom, my teacher told me, don't worry, we'll learn about Black History Month. It's not like the end of the world.
Wow.
So, I'm okay. I felt some type of way. But this was the first week of February, like I said. The kids, where I live, I'm in Massachusetts, the kids go on vacation Friday. When they come back, ain't no more February, ain't no more Black History Month. What is going on?
Yeah, but you know what though, man? I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't expect white people to teach black kids about black history. That's our job. That's just the truth to the matter, man. Like, let them go to school, learn from the colonizers, and then come home, and then you teach them about black history. My daughter just finished reading the Life of Henrietta Lacks book. That's the type of stuff she be on.
We got to teach our own people, but I would expect more because my son goes to school. It's named after a famous Underground Railroad leader, William Carney. He goes to a school. We live in a city that is known for the Underground Railroad. Frederick Douglass was born here. Harriet Tubman had slaves hidden in houses that are now historic places downtown. I would expect so much more from these people.
Well, we'll tell that little millennial teacher to get it together. I bet you she's a millennial. I bet you she's in her 20s.
She is.
Exactly.
She's a young, blonde tenderoni.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So go get her before she show your kids 12 years a slave in the classroom, man.
My goodness. Thank you, Mama.
Do that. Thank you.
All right.
Hello, who's this?
This is Whitney calling out of Houston.
Hey, Whitney, get it off your chest.
Yeah, I just wanted to give two things. I want to give a birthday shout out to my son Cassius. He turned 4 today, and to my husband of 10 years.
Hey, Cassius, happy birthday.
Good morning,
That's not
Cassius.
Cassius. That is not Cassius. They're 4 years old.
Oh, that's a new one?
That's a new one.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Oh, does he know that you're here because you had a Valentine's last year? Or did you?
No, that was 4 years ago.
Oh, you had a Valentine's since?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to vent. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Who's this?
What's up, Envy?
Hey, Trav.
Trav, people be so mad. They think you have like a special hotline.
Hey, what's up, Envy?
Peace, sis. How you spending Valentine's?
Yeah, how I'm spending Valentine's? Yeah, that's a little story about that.
We here for the story, Trav. Tell us what's going on.
What happened?
I don't even want to talk about that. I can't talk about something else.
No, but Trav, we gotta know because we care.
I'm kind of single right now.
You and your boyfriend broke up
What
after
happened to the white dude, Trav? You was in love.
First of all, he is Spanish, not white.
Oh, I'm sorry. What happened to the Latino guy? We was in love. What happened, Trav?
Oh man, he just he kind of cheated on me.
He cheated, Trav.
No, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Give us his number. Give us his number. Let us talk to him for a second.
I'm not calling no man on Valentine's Day and asking why he's doing something better.
Why would he do that to you? How long ago did this happen?
This happened a week ago.
Oh my
Sorry, right before Valentine's Day too?
Hey, I respect him though. At least he broke up with you last week. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice respectable time.
He didn't break up with me. I broke up with him.
Okay.
That's right.
That's right, Trav.
You could at least thought about it. So you didn't want to wait till at least Valentine's Day and get a little Valentine's Day gift?
Yeah, I broke up with him. My name is not Beyonce or Cardi B. I'm not sticking around for that. So.
Oh, well, okay. Your lemonade here.
Well, we'll go try something with a broken heart, Trav.
What you going for, Trav?
My number matter now. I'll call another day.
You and me
See, y'all got him depressed now.
we gotta find Trav a bay. Trav, I'm not gonna try to find you a bay on Valentine's Day because I don't think that's fair to you or the other person. But I'm gonna find you a bay, Trav.
Trav, you need to follow It's a Black Man. He loves you on Twitter. He always asks about you. I had to tell him you had a boyfriend last time. You like black guys, right?
Yeah, of course I like that.
Just want to make sure. Okay. All right.
Oh,
It's a Black Man. I threw that shout out there for you.
I'm fine being single right now. I don't want anybody right now.
All right, well, forget you then. We try to get you a little black on black penetration going, and you don't act ungrateful.
Oh goodness. Goodbye. Y'all done messed up my day now. Goodbye.
You sound bad depressed now. He called it all happy.
Poor Trav.
We love Trav, man. He's a cutie too.
Hey man, today is all about Valentine's Day. We are here to lift your spirits.
All right. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to vent. Maybe your boo broke up with you right before Valentine's Day. You can call us up. Now, we got rumors on the way?
Yeah, we are going to talk about Meek Mill, special report about Meek Mill, and something that is going on in Philly that we want to fill you in on.
All right, we'll get into all that when we come back. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Yes. Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day, man. Listen, I promise you, I'm not going to be hard on the single ladies this year. I'm not going to do it. I've been too hard on them the past couple of years. I'm not going to be petty. You know, God has a plan for you. It just happens. It just happens to be a single device plan, not a family plan. But no, don't worry about that.
My goodness.
And I would just say, I would rather you be in a great relationship than just be with anybody because you don't want to be alone. That's a terrible idea. There's nothing worse than being with somebody that's not worth your time.
Oh. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Cardi B.
Well, according to TMZ, Cardi B's team has been telling people that she is pregnant, and they were saying that during Super Bowl weekend. So that is according to TMZ. They said after Cardi performed, a venue staffer asked her team if they could bring her back to the VIP room where there was some drinks, and they said they didn't want to be in a party atmosphere and wanted to stay by the stage. They said that she is 3 to 4 months pregnant, according to the rep.
Who said TMZ said that?
Yeah.
They just reporting that because somebody randomly told them that?
Well, they said it was, according to a staffer, one of the reps for Cardi B said that she's pregnant.
Well, I'm glad that is out there, if it is indeed true, because, you know, everybody was saying that Cardi was going to have issues this week because it's All-Star Week. She's going to have issues with the Bloods and Cali.
With the Crips, you mean?
The Crips. Oh, yeah, Crips and Cali, you know. So I'm glad they put that out there because you can't do nothing to a pregnant woman.
Nah, you definitely can't.
All right, well, speaking of All-Star Weekend in LA, Wale has put out an anti-Valentine's Day song, and the song is called All-Star Breakup because it is NBA All-Star Weekend. And here is a little snippet from All-Star Breakup.
And I heard you loving me, yeah, but then you now. You can track how much you getting mad, can make around. At the All-Star break a day, I sold my Valentine. So my advice if Shawty doesn't know the game, she gave me all. And Miss Valentine, dollar signs have you satisfied. Your goals peak at a rolling fashion over ad. And I don't mean to talk to you like a hoe, cause nah, we both do what we want. But if I want you, I must want you bad, right?
I ain't gonna lie, you're a damn fool buying a Valentine's Day gift for some woman that's going to All-Star this weekend.
Well, yeah, that's part of what he talks about in the song. He says, you ever lost your main John to a point guard or a small forward?
And that's a fact. If you really my Valentine, you know what you're going to do this weekend? Stay your ass home and go see Black Panther with me, okay? I'm buying you a Valentine.
And he said, I don't believe in Valentine's in the song, just so you know. So.
He's been hurt. Mm-hmm.
Are you damn right? Can you imagine that you buy a girl a Valentine and she's like, well, I'm going to All-Star on Thursday. Oh, no, you not. Oh, where we going?
Where we go?
Huh? Where we going?
Now, do I have time to get into this Meek Mill story, or do I need to save it? Yes? Okay, Meek Mill, I gotta tell you guys this whole situation. Now, Meek Mill's legal team, they're launching a bid to free Meek Mill after they found out the police officer who initially arrested him was on a DA's list of cops suspected of framing suspects and lying in court. This is important because Officer Reginald B. Graham, former officer, he arrested Meek Mill in 2007. This was his original arrest when he was 18 years old on gun and drug charges, testified against him in court. A large part of the reason that Meek Mill actually got locked up was because of this police officer testifying against him, and he was one of the people that was on that secret list that the DA had of cops who would frame suspects and lie in court. Now, Graham testified that police informants had seen Meek, who was 18, sell crack cocaine on the streets of Philly, even though Meek said he was not there and was actually in court at the time supporting his cousin, which his lawyers say is a provable fact that they did not even consider in this case. Now, the police also said that they got a police warrant after that to search his cousin's home where Meek had been staying. Now, Meek admits that he did have an illegal gun, but according to Graham, he said that Meek Mill actually pulled out a gun, ducked behind a car, and tried to shoot them, and that's when they wrestled him to the ground and arrested him as he tried to flee. Now, Meek said that cops had actually cuffed him outside the house, then dragged him inside the house and beat him up. He was beat up so badly that he actually had to go to the hospital, and they had pictures of him chained to a chair in the hospital. And he said they actually pulled out one of his drugs. They were kicking him, punching him in his face, and all of that. So they feel like that that should be overturned because that cop was known for lying under oath, and he actually was known for stealing as well. One of his partners testified against him, a former narcotics officer, saying that they would steal together.
I'm not mad at Meek Mill's defense team. They throwing a whole bunch of things against the wall to see what sticks. Try to get their guy home. I'm not mad at that at all.
Right.
And I'm glad Angela Yee took a breath because she sounded like she was talking to the police on behalf of Meek Mill. I know about it. I know about it. It's a gun around.
I just think it's crazy. They have a whole list of police officers who are known for lying in court under oath. And they keep that list from people. It's a secret list. And then Meek Mill went to jail originally because of this police officer. And he proved that he was in court with his cousin. He had proof of that, but they didn't even consider it at the time. I mean, it makes sense. All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Now, when we come back, who do we have joining us, Charlamagne?
Oh, man, we have my South Carolina brethren, King T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman will be here joining us, and this isn't his first time on the Breakfast Club, but I love when the black actors and black actresses in Hollywood come through, because a lot of times they like to blow off their black media outlets to go do all the big mainstream white stuff, like Good Morning America and Today Show and all that. So I like when they pull up on the little old black shows.
All right, we'll talk to him when we come back. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Yeah, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee. I don't know where the hell Envy is.
He's in LA.
But we have right now the man of the hour, the king of Wakanda. T'Challa is here. Chadwick Boseman.
Yo,
what's happening, my brother?
Everything is great. I thought Envy was gonna be here because I saw he was Batman.
Yes.
And you were Panther.
I was Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Got the helmet right here, baby.
Oh my God.
$300 from Bangkok.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those as well?
I don't have one.
Okay.
I have an Iron Man one, actually.
No. Why do you have an Iron Man and not Black Panther?
I will have one for sure. I will have one for sure.
Pressure's on, man.
You think so?
It's good pressure, though.
Yeah.
It's good pressure. And, I remember reading one time that you said you skipped the Civil War premiere because it felt too big. So if Civil War felt too big, how did you get used to this?
It was, I had to work my way into it. I had to work my way into it. And, when you go to those Marvel premieres, the ones in LA, they take up blocks and blocks and blocks. And I was just like, you know what, I'm going to sit this out this time. I went to Age of Ultron. I saw what it was like. I went to Doctor Strange, and so I think it got me to the place where I was like, I'm ready for mine now.
Yeah.
So
and I'm sure Marvel would be disappointed if you didn't show up.
To my own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, ours was festive too. It was an amazing experience. We had, everybody was dressed to the nines in their African gear, and
we all had
drums.
We saw it.
Beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
You suffer from anxiety?
Anxiety about what?
Just in general, like just about life.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I'm having it's a good time.
Got you. 4 years ago we had you up here and I asked you if you were playing Black Panther. You had the worst poker face known to man.
I didn't know. At that point in time that I had no idea the events that led to this. I'll give you credit for being prophetic about it.
Okay. All right. You heard it first. You heard my credit. I like my credit.
You are Charlamagne the God, right? You Charlamagne the God, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Claim it. It's been a couple of people that predicted it. So I say you one of them.
There you go.
How long did you have to keep it a secret when you found out?
It was like 2.5 months.
That's a long time to not be able to.
It was 2.5 months. Like my mama didn't know.
Wow.
Really?
Nobody knew.
Because your mom probably would have told everybody.
Yeah, like you know what?
How did I find out?
What do you mean? How did you find out?
I'm trying to think. I didn't find out, but I kind of knew.
Yeah.
I used to go back
you
to
a Charlamagne the God, right?
I'm just trying to think. Where did I see that? I don't remember.
You know before other people know.
Yeah. Before Chadwick.
Yeah, you before I knew.
That's amazing.
What made you want to commit to that character?
To Panther?
Yeah.
It was something that the funny thing is when you said it wasn't something that was outside of my scope. It was something that I had been thinking about for a few years, and I had a few incidents that they led me to back to the comic book. it was a cross, a Chicana in Peru that has, the condor, it has the puma, and a serpent on it. And so that the puma is a Black Panther. So you're there in Machu Picchu, which is sort of a lost city, and it reminded me of Wakanda. It reminded me of the idea of Wakanda. It's been various different trips that I took that made me think of Wakanda. So I had notes written about what a Black Panther movie would be like even before I was cast. Wow. So when you said it, it was like, you know what? That would be good if that happened one day. I think this is one of those really, really special moments, in history and art, where things just sort of come together in a way that you can't explain.
Yeah, I saw you say that Black Panther is a cultural moment. I think your exact quote was, "We're not remembering breaking the color barrier or how funk was created, but we are living this." Can you elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, this is, I hesitated to say this before we got here because we didn't know whether we had a good movie. We didn't know how people were going to respond to it. But just seeing how people have bought out theaters, before they've ever seen it. They haven't even seen what the movie is. You've seen it.
Saw it last night.
Yeah. They haven't even seen what the movie is. And in some ways, when you're seeing like the Black Panther Challenge, which Fred T. Joseph started, they're living up to some of the ideas of the movie when they do that. Mm-hmm. That's historic. Yeah. This is history being created. In those other movies I was doing, we were remembering the past. Mm-hmm. We were looking back at history. This is a very, very present moment that takes us into what could be a different future.
That was history recreated. And I do love all the roles you played. It seems like you've been really great at picking these really impactful movies to play in.
Some of it I picked, and some of it was.
I liked it. Listen, I really liked the Thurgood Marshall movie because I honestly didn't know a lot about Thurgood Marshall until I saw that.
Right.
James Brown was great. Jackie Robinson, 42.
Yeah.
Why does Hollywood think all Black people look like Chadwick Boseman? They don't think we all look alike. They think we all look like you.
They don't. That's funny. I had so many biopics after 42 to come at me. So many scripts that, like, if I told you all of the different ones, hundreds of people. And so it just so happens that those are the ones that resonated. Those are the ones that I refused and wouldn't go away. Thurgood Marshall's son, John Marshall, actually wrote me a letter that convinced me to play Thurgood Marshall because I didn't want to do it because I was like he's way too light skinned. I can't play him. like no way in the world I could do that.
What famous Black man have you turned down?
Not like that. Don't just take that.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. What roles of famous Black men have you turned down?
I don't want to say all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because.
What would you give us one big?
Well, let me just tell you why. I'm trying to think of one that I can't say. While I say why I won't say most of them, because you never know as an actor who's going to end up playing something that you turn down.
Right.
Got you.
And so you don't want to say, well, they gave it to me first. You know what I'm saying? You got my sloppy seconds. You never want to do that because I think it always ends up with the person it's supposed to end up with. One of them, I'm trying to think of something that had various different versions of. There's a Sam Cooke, these Sam Cooke movies. So one of them was one of those versions.
Got you.
So it's a few characters that a few.
Lifetime movies.
No. Yes.
They actually do a Lifetime movie? Early
yes,
on.
Well, people come with everything.
Yeah.
No. People come, they shoot their shot. You know what I'm saying? People come
Why
with
not,
everything.
right? It could happen.
Yeah, they come with everything.
What's your guilty pleasures, like things that you watch that you're like, damn?
Oh, man. I'm looking at my publicist and shit.
Like, what's must-see TV for you?
There's no must-see. But there are times when, it's so much going on that you need that mindless, sound that mindless. And I'm not. That's no disrespect to the shows.
So you turn VH1 on.
Yeah, I turn VH1 on. I turn Bravo on. you like what is Mimi doing? What are they doing? You know,
my gosh.
you have to you have to have some. You look at Black Ink or something like that.
Yeah.
You have to have some of that sometimes.
Right.
Now, how much Black Panther content did you consume before taking on this role?
Yeah, I probably read almost all of the before Ta-Nehisi Coates started his new run. Mm-hmm. I tried to read all of it.
Reggie Hudlin.
Yeah, Reggie Hudlin.
Jesse Hyland.
Jack Kirby.
Yep.
McGregor, who created Killmonger. Everybody. Christopher Priest. You read all of them because our movie is not based just upon one version. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of each version. That's what I love about our movie. Just from a comic book standpoint, a comic book fan can look at this movie and go, they'll be very excited because they'll know this came from this particular run, this came from that particular run, and it's literally every run is in our movie.
Would you consider Black Panther a black film?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. I mean, it's a lot of black people in it.
Yes.
And it's actually probably one of the, there's a conversation in this movie that is an in-house conversation. It's a conversation that can only happen if you are on one continent or the other. If you I shouldn't even say that. You have to be part of the diaspora. And so as an African American, there's a conversation that you're having with the continent as you watch this movie. The continent is having a conversation with you. There's a debate that has probably never happened in a movie on this stage ever.
I know exactly the thing you're talking about.
Yeah, it's never happened. And so in that conversation, people will be talking about that, I think, even after the movie is over. And so it's definitely a black film because that conversation is happening without regard for white people.
Yeah.
White people are privy to it.
Let's call them colonizers.
Yeah. Don't give anything away. No, that needs to be But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's happening, and everybody's able to enjoy it because it's so specific of a question. So it definitely is a black film. But what I believe truly, and it's sort of a Tolstoy idea, is that the more specific you are in your artistry, the more universal it becomes.
Yeah.
So the more I go into a particular culture, which is what we try to do because we didn't want to do like a generalized Africa. You needed to be able to pull from, the whole continent in order to create this fictitious African nation. And so there are very, very real concepts and rituals and ideas, and even in the design, if you see the skyscrapers in the movie, those are actual, architectural, images that you see in Africa. And so we wanted to pull from real things. I think when you do that, people recognize things as being real and they can identify with it more. So that's why you see people from all over the world. And we were in Korea, and people were coming in wearing their own traditional garb, and just to greet us. That's how they felt about the movie because they saw us doing the same thing.
Was there a particular part of Africa that you studied in order to get Wakandan culture? Because Wakanda is a fictional country.
So what Ryan did? Let me start with what I did. I listened to dialects from all over the country, all over the continent, and I settled in South Africa, and I did that, for Civil War. He then went to South Africa, and he studied basically an enclave in South Africa, and so that enclave is what our movie is based upon. When you see the border tribe, it's similar to the blankets that are worn in that enclave, and so that's that's one part of it. I think there are other parts that are very, Egyptian at times or comedic.
Same thing.
Yeah, same difference. Some people don't know.
Yeah.
So we pick from there are very specific places. There's part of the clothing that is Masai at times. So because we have these different tribes, each one of those tribes pulls from a specific thing.
Gotcha.
How many times have you seen the movie at this point?
I can't answer that.
Did it exceed your expectations?
Yeah, that's complicated. Yeah, it lives up to it. It's different for me because, as an actor, you always go in. How many takes you did of this scene, how many takes what they chose and what they didn't choose. So you're trying to deal with, the movie that you shot versus the movie that ends up on the screen the first few times you see it. So overall, I'm very, very happy with what we've done. Right. But then there's a part of me that is always going to be critical, always analyzing the process, and so that the next time you do it, you have a more of a way you want to tackle it. But that's just the strategy of doing anything. You're thinking of new ways you're going to do what you do. So absolutely, everybody is. But you can still be happy with the final project.
I want to thank you for confirming that there is a sequel too, because you said the next time.
Yeah. I didn't confirm that.
And I want to go back to what you talked about with a black film, because you said yes and no. What makes a film a black film?
Well, what makes a film a black film is it's like when somebody is authentic. I think that's part of what I'm talking about here. Like Ryan Coogler is very authentic.
Absolutely.
He makes films because he connects with them, and there is I think he found his stamp and put it on his film, and because that stamp is on the film and it's unapologetic, that to me is part of what makes this. He's very clear about his position, I think, in his journey in this film in trying to connect to Africa. And
Oakland.
And Oakland. Yeah.
He finds a way to put Oakland in everything.
Yeah.
Salute to Ryan.
Yeah, it's hard to say what that answer is. You know what I'm saying? And I hesitate sometimes when people say it's black, and because they feel like that's a limitation. A lot of people feel that way. I don't feel like that's a limitation. I feel like it could be a black film and also just be a good film. It could just be a film at the same time. This is just a film, and it's authentically black.
Yeah, because the little bit of negativity that I'm seeing from people is, but it's a black cast, but they're just using black people to make the white people at Disney all of this money.
Well,
they even got a petition.
Honestly, who cares?
Or
at the end of the day, filmmaking is a commercial art. If you don't make art when you make movies, if you don't make money when you make movies, then you can't make movies.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So
this kind of sets the precedent because it shows the value of having black people play these lead roles.
Black director.
Yeah. And all of that, and now that's like, okay, we got to do more of this.
Let me say this too, because I'm assuming that the person you're talking about who said that was black.
Yes, yeah, of course.
You got to be careful of being racist against yourself, right? Because a lot of times people see the name on the outside of a building, and they make the assumption that it's a bunch of white people sitting around a table, right? They haven't been in the building, so they don't know who's in there. They don't know that one of the shot callers, that one of the head producers,
great point,
at Marvel is black. They don't know Nate Moore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you don't know who's behind the walls, you can't make an assumption, that that the person calling the shots is, they don't know that one of the head producers is a woman. Yeah. You know, that is Victoria. Like, it's one of the things that, you know, being racist against yourself and saying, oh, they, you don't know who they is.
Yeah.
You don't know. This is all about the people, you know. It's not about the names on the studios. The way things get done, I think the way that I did my business in doing this, and the way that Ryan did his business, he'll tell you very clearly, he went in and he met Kevin Feige, Louis D'Esposito. He went in and met Nate Moore and saw who they were. Mm-hmm. And he made his decision to do this movie based upon who they were, not the name on the outside.
What do you think of this petition that's going around that wants to they're trying to get Marvel to give 25% of proceeds from Black Panther to the black community? This is a real thing.
I mean, it's not gonna happen. that's what I think about it. You know, sometimes when you make art, you've already given what you're supposed to get.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. You know, they can't do that, and they have overhead that they have to cover.
Yeah,
everybody has overhead. Even if you're not a business, you got overhead. And so in order for them to continue to make movies, you know, they have to make money off of it.
The way I explained it is, Ryan is going to continue after this to be he's going to be one of the biggest directors, if not biggest director in Hollywood.
Right.
He's going to continue to empower black people. You're going to continue to empower black people. Michael Jordan's going to continue to empower black people. Lupita. So that's the win.
That's the win. Like, you know, you got to look at it as each person is an entity. Mm-hmm. Each person is like a company that, like, there's a whole, you know, group of people that work with you. Like, there's a different people that travel around with me on this tour than it is that work with me on production, and it's black people that are in that group.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where people have to understand how business works, and, you know, I have the opportunity to help my family. I have the opportunity to like, you know, buy. I didn't even do a GoFundMe for you know, in South Carolina. I just, you know, bought it.
Right.
Yeah, like, I didn't ask nobody else to do it. Like, I have the power to do that because I'm doing this film, so I get to give back. I don't have to ask Marvel to give back.
All right.
You know.
Now, Chadwick is from South Carolina, Anderson, South Carolina. How much of that South Carolina upbringing makes up the man you are today?
All of it. You know, all of it. You know, honor your father and your mother that your days may be long. You know, that's ultimately, you know, what your parents taught you, or what you ended up learning later on that they tried to teach you. That's what gets you indoors and helps you to handle being inside those doors. Mm-hmm. Like, if you can't respect your parents, how you gonna respect your boss?
Yes, sir.
You know, so it's all of me. It's all of me.
You was I think I read somewhere you was driving through South Carolina when the KKK was wilding over the Confederate flag.
Yeah, you said that was misquoted.
No. It was in Anderson, South Carolina. Yeah, I saw on a drive home. But it was in response to, you know, the Confederate flag being taken down. Yeah. So, you know, you never know. When people are doing stuff, because I'm sure they're ashamed of that at this point. And you know, I'm sure they're ashamed, and I'm sure that they want to do better. I'm not gonna hold it against them right now. It's messed up. It's messed up that that's still happening. Mm-hmm. And it was also
KKK wants to do better though. I'm see the group does it. The group does it.
Got you. But when I go home, I can see people changing.
Yeah.
I can see that what I'm doing is changing people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I can see that they have to look at me different, and then therefore they have to look at the people that they see every day different. And so I'm not saying that you know, that the South is still the South. But I pray for it all the time. You know, I pray for my family that's there, and you know, I obviously you probably have had experiences in South Carolina that charge negative ones that make you who you are. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's interesting? I always say that growing up in South Carolina, I know it sounds crazy, I never experienced overt racism.
Oh yeah, I did.
But I know I experienced it covertly. But we saw it all the time because you had the Strom Thurmond Highway, the Strom Thurmond buildings, and the Confederate flag. But I never had nobody be like, yo, move.
Oh yeah, I had that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had that. I definitely had that. And I you know, I had resentment for it probably for a period of time, but I think now I don't have that. I don't have that same resentment. I feel like I've gotten to a place where, you know, I feel sorry for you if you think that way.
I totally agree.
And I've gotten to a place where, you know, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't get mad if a cop unjustly stopped me because I was black. But I feel like I can pray for you, and I feel like I can, you know, I can look at where your heart needs to be changed.
And you can say your life sucks if that's
your life sucks if that's how you feel. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not here to like to cause division at this point in time. I'm here to be a light so that you can see that you're wrong.
Do you think that they will explore the relationship between Storm and T'Challa at some point in the future?
I don't know.
Especially with everybody merging now, Fox and Disney and all that other good stuff.
Let me tell you like there's a few reasons why I can't answer that. But Lupita is gonna kill me if we don't end up together in the movie. So, she literally told me she was like, if they try to bring Storm in this, she was like, I'm gonna turn into a villain.
Wow.
so yeah.
Come back and Storm were married in the comics.
I know. Yeah, I have no way of knowing what they're gonna do.
Yeah, right. What do you want people to take from Black Panther, man?
I hope people are proud when they finish watching the movie. That's what I want. You know,
that's how I felt.
Yeah, just you know, if people walk out of that movie and they're proud, everything else will take care of itself. And I think it's, you know, you're gonna get what you bring. Like, this is one of those movies where you get what you bring, but at the same time, I think there's a certain amount of pride you should have from just the exploration within this, the questions that are asked and the debate, you know, and even just the way we're depicted. But I think it's really the debate that actually happens. I hope people feel proud that happened on this stage.
Yeah, I think it adds to the conversation of Black pride. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I called my book Black Privilege because I think it's a privilege to be black. And
which I love, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you. And I feel like Black Panther is adding to that. Like, yo, this is how dope we could be.
It even how dope we are. It's how dope we are. It's fantasy, but it's actually not. You know, it's who we are. It's who we always have been. There have been African empires, and so African civilization, and so it's not a thing that we're just making up. It's just an amalgamation put inside this fictitious world.
And great for kids to see those representations of themselves on the big screen.
Yes, indeed. Well, Chadwick has to go because, you know, he is busy promoting a movie that's about to make well over $1 billion. And then you have to change his number. You know what I mean? No, man. And nobody in the Anderson will be able to reach him with his mama. Okay. It's Chadwick Boseman, y'all. Y'all will see Black Panther this weekend. It's the Breakfast Club.
Everybody, it's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Now, let's get to the rumors. Let's talk LeBron James.
So LeBron is going to be producing a remake of House Party. That's the Kid and Play movie from the 90s, in case you don't know. And that should be pretty exciting. Now, Atlanta writer Stephen Glover, who's Donald Glover's brother, and Jamal Allori are going to be reportedly writing the screenplay for that also. According to LeBron, it's not a reboot. He says it's an entirely new look for a classic movie. Everyone I grew up with loved House Party. To partner with this creative team to bring a new House Party to a new generation is unbelievable.
I always thought that would be a good idea. I always thought that somebody should grab Ray Schremer and remake a House Party style movie.
You said that before. I think that would be dope.
Hey, I thought about that a few years ago, but whatever.
All right, well, we'll see. They haven't said who's going to be starring in it as of yet. Speaking of films and television, Chris Rock is going to be, well, it's out now, today, Valentine's Day, Tambourine. That is his new comedy special. It is on Netflix. So, in case y'all haven't seen the trailer, because there's a tambourine floating around, and they just kind of sprung it on us yesterday. Here is a little bit of a snippet from the Netflix special.
Like, where you been? Trying to raise some kids. That's scary. Cause I got black kids. I got to get them ready for America. Rough out there for a black boy. So if you got a black son, you gotta just punch him in the face. You don't punch your black son in the face, that's child abuse. I was married for 16 years. That's a long run. Hamilton won't last that long.
Now, Chris Rock hasn't done a stand-up in 10 years, so there's a lot that's happened in his life, obviously, since then. He got divorced in 2014, and that's really where Tambourine comes from. I know all three of us went to go see his stand-up.
Yes, the Total Blackout Tour. Drop one of Clues bomb for the guy, Chris Rock. This is a great... Man, if you don't get my bomb right...
Now, the tambourine part is where he said there's no equality in a relationship. You're both there to serve. He said sometimes you sing lead and sometimes you play the tambourine. So,
that's a fact, though.
Yeah, that's what it is. So should be pretty interesting. We loved it when we saw it. So make sure you guys check that out on Netflix. And I mean, it's a different situation for him. He was on BET. He did 5 comedy specials there. So they lured him away to Netflix.
On BET?
I mean, on HBO. Sorry.
I was like, I ain't no see no Chris Rock.
I meant to say HBO. He was on HBO. He had 5 specials on HBO before. And so this is his first one with Netflix. He has 2 that are going to be on Netflix. So he has 1 more after this.
I'm not mad at that at all. This is a great week for content.
Yeah, now, and since we're talking about things coming out today, I just thought I'd throw it in there that Eminem and Ed Sheeran's video, River, comes out today also. I've been looking to see online if it's out yet, but it's not. But it is dropping.
Oh, they should have waited till March.
Today, this video.
So after Black History Month.
Now you can't drop in Black History Month the same week as Black Panther, Chris Rock special, and All Star
It's
Weekend.
just a video.
Nah, y'all should have waited till y'all should have waited till March. This is bad timing.
All right, now Nelly is under criminal investigation for sexual assault. His attorney, Scott Rosenblum, is saying these allegations arose after the woman, Ms. Green, amended her suit for money to include a reference to these claims. The fact that the police are investigating these claims is not new information, and Nelly welcomes a thorough investigation. Now, this is for a situation that went down in England. The incident went down allegedly December 5th after he performed. A woman said she went to his dressing room with friends. He asked her to come to her room next door. She claims once in the room, he dropped his pants and began masturbating in front of her and tried to put his hand on her top and tried pulling it off as well. The woman said she didn't go to cops immediately because she didn't think that they would believe her. So
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Every time I see a headline about Nelly sexually assaulting a woman, my heart starts beating fast. Cause all I keep thinking is it's only a matter of time for every woman on that tip drill video set file some type of claim. All right? Cause does anybody remember that tip drill video?
Oh yeah.
The woman that got the credit card is coming. All right. It's only a matter of time.
now, since you wanted to bring up Black Panther, that soundtrack is going to be on top this week. So congratulations to Top Dog, to Kendrick. Black Panther, the album is heading for that #1 debut. Congratulations to them.
Drop one of Clues bombs for Top Dog Entertainment. So it's going to be the #1 movie in the country and the #1 album in the country at the same time.
So listen, soundtracks matter. I just know certain movies, if they have a great soundtrack with them, they'll forever be classics.
I'm very glad that I did not listen to that soundtrack until after I saw the movie. I saw the movie Monday, and I listened to the soundtrack Tuesday morning, and it's a great project.
All right.
Totally go with the movie.
All right,
which I have seen 2 days in a row. Just want to throw that out there.
Well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Charlamagne, who you giving that down to?
You know, it's Valentine's Day, and I'm just getting all of these tweets on social media. Everybody hitting me up saying, Charlamagne, you're so hard on single women on Valentine's Day. So I don't want to be hard on the single women on Valentine's Day. I don't. Okay, I just want to tell a little story about something that I witnessed last night, and I hope that women aren't putting themselves in this position. That's all. So let's just talk for after the hour. Your Uncle Charlotte is here for you. All right?
Charlamagne.
Listen.
Treat the women tenderly.
Your Uncle Charlotte is here for you. Okay?
Be nice.
It's not your fault you're alone.
It's Valentine's. Be nice.
It's not your fault, boo.
All right.
Please stop.
And there's a lot of single men out there too.
Oh God! Here we go.
All right, ask ye. I'm sorry, Donkey Today is up next. Keep it locked to the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Cue my Mary J. Blige instrumental. Donkey of the Day for Wednesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. I will admit that over the years I've been very, very hard on the single ladies on Valentine's Day. In fact, Mimi Uchiha on Twitter posted at 6-something this morning, and I quote, I'm going to tell you now, if you're sensitive about V-Day, don't listen to the Breakfast Club today, because see the God level of petty will be through the roof. Listen, man, I'm not here to be hard on you single ladies today, because I have a lot of single homegirls, beautiful women, intelligent women, career-driven women, who for some reason can't get nobody. Okay, so there's no need for me to twist a knife that reads single on the blade. Alright, you ladies know you're single, you know why you're single. Y'all just waiting on God to deliver the right man to your doorstep, and he will. Oh yes, God will deliver you a good man. The package is on the way. But once again, for another consecutive year, the package didn't make it in time for Valentine's Day. Single ladies, I am not here to chastise you on this fine Valentine's Day. I am just here to remind you, don't let the enemy steal your joy today, because it's a day of love, and Satan despises everything about real love, because we all know real love starts with God. And I know it gets frustrating because you are a God-fearing woman. You pray often, you give up tithes and offerings, but you still ain't got nobody, and you don't understand why. But don't question God. He got a plan for you. Oh yes, God has a plan for you, but the gag is, it's a single line plan, not a family plan. And that's fine, okay, because in 2003, Beyonce told you that all you got in the end is me, myself, and I. Is this...
I love this song.
I bet you do. Is this the end for you? I would hope not, but I understand what Beyonce was trying to say. All she was trying to say was, you're single, okay? Me, myself, and I are all singular pronouns. I is a subject singular pronoun. Me is an object singular pronoun. Myself is a reflexive and intensive singular pronoun. All Beyonce was trying to do was make you feel good about being single or singular. In fact, God bless Beyonce, because 5 years later in 2008, she gave the single ladies another anthem, and that anthem was a little more matter of fact, okay? It was a celebration of being single called Single Ladies. Oh, man. She gave you a little dance and everything to go with it, because whenever you're angry and frustrated and upset, nothing better than physical activity to help you shake off your frustrations. Okay? That's why today on Valentine's Day, spin classes everywhere are popping. Oh, not just spin classes, Pilates, Zumba, self-defense classes, twerk workouts. Oh, it's just a full day. It's full of single women trying to shake off the frustration of being single. And Beyonce created a jam for you to sweat to in those fitness classes. Ladies, here's the thing about that jam, single ladies. It wasn't really a celebration of being single. It was actually a vent session. Okay, Beyonce actually was expressing the frustration of millions of women around the world when she screamed, if you like it, put a ring on it. That was the demand, okay? And it worked, because she's married with kids now, and you don't even have a Valentine's. But that's okay, that's okay. We are not here to shame the single ladies today. That is not what this is about. I just want to send love to all the women who will be posting 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8 all day today. Fellas, if you see a woman post this scripture, leave a broken heart in her comments. The scripture is, love is patient, love is kind, it is not envy, it is not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. I'm not even sure what all that means, but singular women love it, and they will be posting it on social media all day. So just leave a broken heart in their comments. Now, I promise you, I am not here to make single women feel bad this morning. That's not my intention. In fact, today's Donkey of the Day is not about y'all, okay? We know where the single women stand today, and where they stand is alone. Okay, so I just want to say Donkey of the Day is going to all the women who didn't know they were single until this week. See, I was out with my homegirl last night.
Oh boy.
And she shall remain nameless, and she had been dating this guy for a while. And last night at dinner, she turns to my wife and my homegirl Sasha, and I overhear her say, "Yeah, the guy I've been dating said he's gonna be busy tomorrow, but it's cool. I'm gonna just go to Zumba class." And immediately I said, "Excuse me? Say what? Excuse me?" I couldn't even finish my food. And I had a nice plate of salmon. Because I knew in that moment that I had failed my friend because I didn't properly prepare her for this kind of letdown. And there's a lot of women experiencing that letdown today, but what makes you a donkey is if you are back with the person who said they couldn't be with you today, tomorrow. Everybody knows you don't spend Valentine's Day with the side chick. So when men hit you with the "I'm busy today" text, or "I have to work overtime on the 14th," or "Damn, I won't be around today, something came up," if you fall for that, then it's on your dumb ass. You know the saying, fool me once on Valentine's, shame on you. Fool me twice on Valentine's, shame on me. Fool me 3 years in a row on Valentine's, and you're just a goddamn fool. And if you get fooled again, don't tell him you'll see him tomorrow or later this week, and don't you dare cry. Nope. Don't you shed a tear. If that man you've been sleeping with leaves you high and dry on Valentine's, then you put on your big girl drawers, okay? You put on your big girl drawers, the big white ones, the ones you wear with your period on. You put those on, and you put on some sweatpants and a hoodie, and you get in your car, and you turn that Alicia Keys "Try Sleeping with a Broken Heart" on, and you drive. You put this goddamn song on and you just drive to that spin class and sweat all that frustration out with all the other singulars to Beyonce's single lady. And I'm not here to make you feel bad. No, not at all. Okay? Just please let Remy Ma give these ladies who just found out they were going to be single on Valentine's Day this week the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
I thought you said you wasn't gonna hurt feelings.
Shout out to all my ladies out there,
Okay, see,
that have gotten out of a bad situation and are so much happier to have that burden off their back. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all my women out there that are happily single, that have chosen to be single, that just haven't found the right man yet. Shout out to y'all, and I just want to give some advice. Okay, nothing wrong with having a nice girls' day today.
You're right. You better stop. You know what? You shout out to all those ladies you talking about, and I want to add on to all those ladies you is big enough. If you think you're lonely now,
oh my goodness.
Oh, you think you're lonely now? You just wait until.
Because as a woman, we all know it does not take a man to complete you or make you happy. You have to be happy with yourself.
So why you gotta tend to
have your life together.
Why you gotta send the page?
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today.
And shout out to our boy Trav, who calls every morning, who just broke up with his boyfriend last week.
Nah, Trav been sleeping with a broken fart for a long time.
Ask He is next. 800-585-1051. Maybe you need relationship advice. Maybe you're single and you need something to do tonight. Maybe he can advise you. Whatever it may be. Call her right now if you need relationship advice. 800-585-1051. Call Ye right now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. It's time for Ask Yee. Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Jocelyn.
Hey, Jocelyn. Happy Valentine's, Mama.
Hi, thank you.
So what's up, Jocelyn?
I have a question for you. So I'm actually in a relationship, not single. Charlamagne, I know you're like, okay. So I'm in a relationship, and I'm in a long distance relationship. My boyfriend is in California. So I have a question. Today's Valentine's Day. I usually don't make a big deal out of it, but I said like, no, it's fine. You don't have to give me anything. But obviously, when girls say that, it means I want you to give me.
I don't know that that's Jocelyn. We have to stop acting like that's obvious. But go ahead.
We had talked about it previously, and he said he was going to give me something, for like the big day or something. So he's in California, and I'm here in Houston, and he didn't give me anything.
But it's still, what time is it there?
It's
really early. How do you know he didn't get you anything yet?
Because Because he said he said he was gonna give it to me like the day before. Because today because of his job, it's like I don't have a job and he can't really do
Jocelyn,
today.
Why did you tell him not to get you anything if you wanted something?
Well, I didn't tell him not to give me anything. I was like, it would be nice, but obviously, like, I'm not gonna get hurt if you don't give me anything.
But you are hurt.
A little bit, yeah, because we've been dating for like 2 years.
See, you can't be sending out these mixed messages. Now, of course, ideally, he should have gotten you something, but you should have been honest. Don't tell the man, that's no big deal, you don't have to get me anything if you don't really mean that. You really have to say what you mean. You have to be like, listen, I'm excited, thank you so much, anything you get me, I'll appreciate. Keep it real.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we'll see. He has the rest of the day.
Yeah, and it's still super early in the morning. It's like not even noon yet. So he has plenty of time. You don't know what he's going to do. So I don't know why you're acting like he hasn't done anything yet. But I do feel like if you want to make sure that you're not upset later, you should let him know, you know what? I should never have told you that I didn't want anything because I'm not going to lie. Rethinking it, I really do, anything, whatever you do for me, I appreciate, but I would like for you to do something. Just keep it real.
Listen, why are you mad at the man for doing what all women want, which is listening? He listened to what his woman wanted. He gave exactly what she said she wanted.
Yeah,
but you can't pick and choose when you want somebody to do what you say.
He should have got a gift. If he loves it, he would have got it.
But maybe he did. We don't know that he didn't.
That's true too.
Man.
I always say him a funny text.
We've been dating for 2 years, so I'm kind of like,
Did you give him something?
Like a little fling. Yes, I have, but it's not going to get there until after Valentine's Day, but I already told him.
Maybe he's devastated.
No, I told him I'm going to get him something. I told him, but it's just going to get there before, a little bit after.
And remember, it's always the thought that counts, so hopefully he's thoughtful enough. Yeah. But, girl, just to avoid this possible tragedy for you, hit him up with a text and be like, listen, I know I was talking crazy, but just so you know, I'm going to be devastated if you don't get me a present, LOL.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a great day.
Have a nice day. I love you.
I love you too. Somebody, at least somebody does on Valentine's Day.
We gotta stop saying, don't get me nothing.
All right, well, ask Yee, 800-585-1051. If you got a question for Yee, call her right now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We're in the middle of Ask Yee. Let's go to line 5. Hello?
Hi.
Hey, Lisa. Good morning. Happy Valentine's.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day to you, too. Not
What's your question?
Man, though.
What's your question for Yee?
Alright, so I'm seeing this guy. He's Italian. He's a doctor. He has to move back to Italy in June. We just started seeing each other for like a month. And now, I wasn't going to see other people, but now someone else started reaching out to me on Snapchat, and I'm kind of interested in him. But I don't know if I should, talk to the other guy or, clarify things with the first guy or what to do, really.
Anissa, you said seeing someone. Does that mean that's your boyfriend? Are you in a monogamous relationship?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if he's dating other people. We're, pretty, intense, but we're seeing each other, twice a week. He stays over or whatever, but... Do
you want to see other people, or do you want to be in a committed relationship?
I don't know. With him, I really like him. I mean, I like to date around. There's things that I don't like about him. He's very messy. But, I do like him as a person, but I don't know,
Okay, so if you did want to be with him like that, you would know.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume that you're enjoying dating him, but that's not your be-all, end-all right here.
Probably not, yeah.
And the fact that you're even interested in entertaining somebody else really shows me that as well. You're not looking at this guy as this is my boyfriend. It's just maybe you like him, it's convenient, he comes over, y'all have a good time, but you're not feeling that it thing.
Yeah.
So I believe that you shouldn't commit to somebody if you don't feel strongly that you want to. And yes, you should see other people.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for the help. But the other quick thing, though, the other guy, I don't even know, if he's interested, and I never really do this. I don't date her out, you know?
And just because you go out with somebody else doesn't mean you have to sleep with somebody else. It could just be you having a friendship. And I would be honest. I would be like, look, I'm seeing somebody else. I'm not in a committed relationship, and I'm not really sure what I want to do. But yeah, at the least we can be friends.
Yeah.
So just keep it real and take your time. There's no rush for you to do anything or make any decisions.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
All right, bye, honey.
All right, ask Yee, 800-585-1051. If you need relationship advice or any type of advice, you can call Yee right now. Now, Yee, we got rumors on the way?
Yes, let's talk about Tamar Braxton and Vince Herbert. There's some issues now, and it has to do with a Rolls Royce.
Oh, boy. All right, we'll get into all that when we come back. Keep it locked. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. All right, morning everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. Now let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Jason Derulo.
Well, things got a little crazy when Jason Derulo jumped in Jordan Sparks' mentions. He went on her post on Instagram, "It's a boy we have so much to be thankful for, and this is definitely at the top of the list." And then she added to her boyfriend that he's going to have a little mini-me running around. "We can't wait to meet him. We love you, little man." Well, Jason Derulo then posted under it, "I wish that was my boy. Hashtag all my songs are about you."
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
It's a little too late to be shooting your shot, Jason. You should have did that months ago.
Now, he did respond because everybody went crazy when they saw that. His response is, "Relax, people. I was on the TV show Safe Word. The show hacked my pages."
Drop on the clues bombs for Jason Derulo. At the end of the day, he's just a Haitian Negro from the streets. All right, that's all that is. That's just a grimy Haitian Negro doing grimy things. Okay, salute to Jason Derulo. That is my kind of petty right there.
Well, he didn't do it. Someone else clearly took his phone.
But that's funny. Safe Word is a funny show. Salute to MTV Safe Word. Probably the best show they got on MTV.
Imagine what kind of chaos that could have caused in her household.
But by the way, I'm gonna tell you what makes Jason Derulo petty. They didn't have to post it. He could have told him no. He could have used the safe word.
He
didn't give a damn.
Like, what if she would have responded and been like, "Oh my God, me too. I've been waiting for you to say that." Can you imagine? It would have felt terrible. All right. Well, she seems very happy though, so she's good.
Try to include mom for Jason Derulo. I like that type of petty.
All right, Nicki Minaj. A lot of people have been wondering, where has she been? They did this whole thing where can you find Nicki Minaj? They showed a Vogue shoot that she did. Well, according to sources, she is just not on social media to fully focus on her music. That's why she has no new posts since December 30th. She feels way more creative without Instagram and Twitter distracting her.
That's probably part of it. And she probably got tired of y'all hounding her about that H&M deal that she won't give up or hasn't given up.
All right, well, they said she's been working day and night in the studio with major producers and with everybody, so she wants to just, I could feel you on that, leave social media alone, and then bang.
Nicki got something to prove.
And
listen, I'm rooting for her, contrary to popular belief.
All right.
I'm rooting for Nicki. I like Nicki. I've always liked Nicki.
Always?
Okay? Yeah.
All right,
just because you have a whack hair don't mean I dislike you. You just had a whack hair.
It was whack for your standards of what you expected from Nicki.
Oh,
it wasn't a whack year.
There you go, yeah. Exactly.
It wasn't a whack year. All right, D-Wade and Chance the Rapper, their basketball documentary Shot in the Dark trailer has been released. We told you that they have this documentary they're producing about a team in basketball in Chicago Oars Basketball Academy, and they're looking at the rigorous in-your-face training regimen that the coach gives the young team. Here is part of that trailer.
It's like a swamp. Once you get your feet stuck in the quicksand, it's hard to get out.
It's rough around here, man. It's really rough. That's a gunshot. You know what I mean? 40 boys on my team, don't have follow. 40 guys that depend on me every day.
Yo, you got the really top one. The big story is Taekwon Greer.
I really want to go to college. I know it's my only way out. I don't want to be the one to get stuck in the quicksand.
You want to get two lives, man. You're going to be a great boy and you're going to be a basketball player.
All right, so that looks like it's going to be really good.
What did I just listen to now?
This is the trailer for the D. Wade and Chance the Rapper basketball documentary Shot in the Dark that they're putting out in Chicago. So it's going to be on Fox as part of their magnified docu-series, which looks at lives of athletes on and off the field.
I need to watch that because I'm not understanding the story. The guy got shot in that,
and he went back. How did he
and then he got shot, and then he
crutches?
was there.
Oh, he got shot that day and played while he had a bullet wound in him.
And he also, he scored a game-winning 3 in the game. The shot that he took actually won the game.
I gotta see how impressive that. I don't know if that's impressive.
That is very impressive.
That is impressive.
Depends where he got shot.
Anyway, and Tamar Braxton and Vincent Herbert, more issues. I guess Vince's Rolls-Royce Wraith got repoed. Envy, I'm going to defer to you on this.
Yes.
You know
that's the Rolls-Royce Coupe. Yeah, it's about a $365,000 car.
Well, apparently he fell so far behind on these payments that they repoed it and then they resold it. But they said it was used, so they lost more than $62,000 when they resold the car. So they want him to pay $65,000 for it. All right. Well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Now, shout to Revolt. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody else, the people's